welcome you and start on time, because most people think we are in Greece and we're going to be late. That's why they're not here. But fortunately or unfortunately for them, we're going to start on time because that's how we run all our events. My name is Gregory Papanikos. I'd like to welcome you to this first annual international conference on Earth and Environmental Studies. It's a good beginning. You will see that we've been around for many years. I'll explain a few words, then Professor Poulos will do the opening remarks of this conference. And we'll start our first session even a little bit earlier. Now, as we call ourselves an institute, actually we're an association, a World Association of Academics. And our mission is to make Athens a place where people can come from all over the world, meet and exchange ideas. Now, we organize many events, and all our events are small events. As I say, they are events to fit in one room. So whenever if a conference grows larger, we chop it. And actually this conference, it started, we have, right now we have 4 or 5 parallel events that take place in this hotel. And the reason is because one conference grew larger, then we chop it. And the other larger, we chop it. And you are free to move around and see what is going on, and all these events downstairs on the 10th floor are our events. So this is a good beginning for us. We want to do an Earth Studies conference, and we do another environmental conference early in May. And we bring all this together, and we have more than 2,000 papers to consider every year that they are presented to our 50 conferences. And these are based, these papers are used then for our publication, as Professor Poulos will explain in a little while. Now, what I want to say is a little bit about the logistics of the conference. What we are doing here is the sessions, and of course we have parallel social events. After the first day, we have the Greek night. All the information, they can be found here. So please read this very carefully, especially the departure, the starting and the end time of every event, because we start on time and we finish on time. So if you come late tonight, there will be no food for you and no dancing. So make sure that you review that very carefully, change your watch to local time so you don't come late. And I wish you a nice day and fruitful 2 days conference. Thank you very much. Professor Poulos.
Thank you. Thanks, Dr. Nikos. Good morning from me. I'd like to welcome you to this conference. My name is George Poulos and I'm Vice President of Research. I'm just going to say a few words about the Institute before we actually look at the formal activities of the day. The Athens Institute for Education and Research, Atiner for short, was established in 1995, and its mission is to act as a forum where academics and researchers from all over the world can come together to this historic cradle of democracy, Athens, in order to exchange ideas on their research, to interact with each other, and to discuss future developments in their disciplines. The basic activities of Atiner include the organizing and hosting of international conferences and symposiums, carrying out of research, and the production of various publications. And since 1995, Atiner has organized more than 350 international conferences and other events and has published close to 150 books. Atiner has also organized numerous roundtable discussions and public speeches on topical issues. The Institute is also currently involved in an ambitious project regarding the proposed establishment of an academic village. The aim is to establish a community of research scholars and academics, and the proposed village will include a conference center, living facilities, as well as facilities for research and recreation. And you'll find more information on this in the green paper in your file. Right, turning to today's formal activities, you should each have a program by now. Please note, and this is important, that each presentation is limited to 15 minutes. Chairpersons will keep time and will use 3 and 1 minute reminder cards. I'd like to ask the chairs to adhere strictly to the time constraints. Please allow for questions and discussion after all the papers have been presented and not after each paper. The chairpersons must also fill out the report forms that they'll be receiving. This is important because the final program will be based on the chairperson's reports. Should you need to make use of technical facilities in your presentation, please confirm that everything is in order before the session begins. There'll be someone from the admin staff to help you in this regard. Vasily will be here today to help you. So please do consult him before the session begins. And then of course there will also be a coffee break between sessions so that you can continue with the discussion that takes place and interact with each other even further. You should also consult the social program, which is red in color in your file. The Greek night tonight is to be recommended. Apart from Greek cuisine, there'll be lots of Greek music and dancing, and you can join in if you like. And then, of course, is the urban walk tomorrow. The person in charge of that is Dr. Gregory Katsis, a very knowledgeable person on the sites in Athens. Then follows the cruise to selected islands and the visit to the ancient site of Delphine. I want to say a few words on the issue of publications. The Institute is involved with various publications. Firstly, there are the abstracts which are published. Now, we're aware that some institutes do require the production of abstracts. There are institutes, of course, that do not regard these as formal publications. So soon after the conference, a few days after the conference, by Friday this week, we should have all the abstracts up on the site. Secondly, the papers that are presented at this conference are placed on the web as part of an online paper series soon after this conference. And these have their own ISS number. They're not peer-reviewed, but they can, of course, be cited. The purpose of this publication series is to firstly disseminate information in your paper as quickly as possible, and secondly to allow for feedback in case you wish to make amendments before submitting your paper for publication in the book. If you do not wish us to put your paper on the site at this stage as part of the paper series, let us know and we'll hold on to it until such time that you notify us. And then with regard to book publications, you'll receive an email soon after the conference asking you for a final draft for publication consideration and any other information that may be relevant. All papers that are submitted will go through a referee process before they'll be considered for publication in a book. And then finally, Atiner has also commenced with its own journal series. We started with this at the beginning of this year. And these journals include papers which are considered to be outstanding in content and which are selected and peer-reviewed by an editorial board. On the issue of collaboration, we at Atiner would also like to collaborate with other institutions, such as the ones that you're affiliated with. And academics, researchers, and institutes are invited to collaborate with our Institute of Research and Education projects. So if you have some type of research project in mind and you'd like to start with it, you can consult us and we can help you get the ball rolling. And with, for example, the organizing of a conference, a mini conference in that regard, or a special seminar, please come and see us and we'll see what we can do about collaboration in that regard. And if you're not yet a member of the Institute, we'd like you to join and assist with the reviewing and editing of papers. Part of our vision is also to organize visiting fellowships. Sorry, I should have put that on earlier. And we are now in the process of discussing this. And then finally, as is clear from the program, you've come from so many different countries, and we at Atiner sincerely hope that you'll make the most of this opportunity to interact with each other, that you'll enjoy this conference, that you'll go back home with fond memories not only of the conference but also of Athens, and most of all that you'll want to come back to future conferences that will be held here in Athens. Right, I think that's all I have to say. Mr. Pagotis, I don't know if you want to say anything further. You're chairing the first session, so you can start as soon as everything is in place. Thank you very much and enjoy the conference.
Thank you, Professor Poulios. Okay, so we're going to start with the first speaker, with Professor Hart. Over here. Professor Hart is an American professor of micropaleontology from Plymouth University, author of more than 220 research papers and 8 books, current chair of the International Subcommission of Cretaceous Stratigraphy.